Now, the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, the 16th occupant of the Golden Stool, says Africans and the Africans in the diaspora should not continue to blame colonialism for their challenges, but forget about the past and look forward to finding solutions to the continent's challenges.
Power of reconciliation and renewal. So, embedded in our culture is an obligation to honor our dead, to draw inspiration from their lives and to celebrate our heroes. Trinidad and Tobago deserves all the honor as the first nation to commemorate Emancipation Day as a national holiday. And particularly for giving it the international dimension it has assumed. Our presence here affords us the opportunity to perform a historic duty to pay homage to the 20 million sons and daughters of Africa who were the victims of the transatlantic slave trade. Without doubt, the most cruel enterprise in human history. To salute the valiant heroes and martyrs who through 2 harrowing centuries mounted courageous resistance against the enslavement to try and break free from the chains of bondage. We salute the brave men and women of all races and persuasions who stepped forth to lead the anti-slavery movement, whose strengthened struggles paved the way to the historic emancipation of August 1st, 1834. And yes, we also salute the heroes in the post-emancipation epoch. Marcus Garvey, Dr. W.B. Du Bois, Dr. Martin Luther King, the radical Trinidadian intellect George Padmore, C.L.R. James, whose intellectual and philosophical ideas fanned the flames of Pan-Africanism and inspired leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, and Nelson Mandela to pursue the political emancipation of the continent of Africa from the yoke of colonialism. The Emancipation Act, passed by the British government granting the slaves freedom from bondage, entered into force on August 1st, 1834. It set the momentum for the European countries and the United States, but decades of intense struggle lay ahead before the consolidation of the process. But while the slaves from Africa were at least nominally free from bondage in the lands of former toil, the continent were at least from which they were extracted remained under colonial subjugation. It was not until 130 years after the emancipation of African slaves that both the mother continent of Africa and the countries of the Caribbean, where they were now domiciled, could gain independence from the colonial masters, beginning with Ghana in 1957, and even then from the continent as well as the diaspora, we continue to ponder what emancipation. What emancipation when every government in Africa is still struggling against severe odds to lift their people from grinding poverty? What emancipation when we're still obliged to look up to our former colonial masters for support and survival? What emancipation when the descendants of the emancipated slaves still cannot walk the streets of the greatest nations on earth, free from fear for their lives? What emancipation for George Floyd, Steve Lawrence, Fafona, and the endless line of our descendants who have fallen to the feet of racial bigotry across Europe and the United States? And what emancipation when even our sportsmen cannot perform without confronting the taunts and hate of mobs because of who they are? We have come to share with you the joy and mirth of the moment, to showcase the enthralling culture that defines us and to bear testimony to the fact that beyond the walls of history and the oceans that seek to separate us, we remain and ever will be one people with one common destiny. It is in that spirit that we also recognize the need to go beyond the mirth of the moment to try to understand the essence of emancipation and the challenges it